Beautiful. So Miles on his way back. Don't need a piece of paper right yet, so I might as well get started. It's actually funny. I decided I was going to present this when I found out yesterday that Jeff couldn't be here. Um, and it's something I actually presented at our Woi meeting last week. And when we came in, was talking to Pat when we came into the room, and we came up with the concept of you've got to trust the process, right? We all need to have processes in place for everything that we do in business. So, as an example, I'm running 3 companies at the same time here. So, do I have processes? Yes, I do. The first thing I do, I get up at 5, give the wife a coffee, make a lunch, kick her out. 5:30, I start. My process then is I do my finance stuff. So that's when I'm looking at QuickBooks, spreadsheets. 6 o'clock, I go on to education. I learn every single day. Nothing gets in the way of that. And at 7 o'clock, I then learn to teach. Now, I'm going to explain a little bit more about what I mean with that. So my day is segmented into certain things, and then there's blocks here and there that customers can book into. I will not let a customer book into my education time and so on and so forth, because that's my process. It works for us. We're nearly 4 years old, so as a company, it's obviously working. We've gone past that lift-off stage, and now we're accelerating. So why am I talking about this? Every one of us is a business owner, all right? And one of the things, and I say this time and time again when I educate people, is when people buy from you, they're not buying the products. They're buying from you, okay? They're buying because we can go through all the analogies, right? We can go through the know, like, trust, all right? But we're not going to go into that one today. They're buying a product that they can buy from absolutely anybody else, but they choose you. Why? Because of your reputation, all right? So what we're going to look at today is how do we get the best reputation that we can. So what I want everybody to do is on the piece of paper, left to right, I want you to draw 5 circles. So not like the Olympic flag or anything like, just 5 circles. And what these do, these represent buckets. And we're going to fill these buckets. Now, anybody who's ever read this book by Stephen Bartlett, has anybody heard of Stephen Bartlett? Yep, very, very clever guy. Actually started off with a podcast called The Diary of a CEO, turned it into a book. I've had this book for about 4 years. I am going through it for my 7th time. And the first chapter is about these 5 buckets, right? And if you want to be successful, you have to fill these buckets, and you have to fill them in the right order. The first 2 buckets, you are the only one that can fill it. Nobody else will ever help you. But as you fill those buckets, the other 3 will start to fill themselves. So bucket number 1 is education. So you're going to write in there education. And you are the only one that can educate yourself, all right? Whether you read a book a month, read a book a week, when you're looking at PDF, you need to constantly be learning as a business owner, all right? Who's starting to get up to date on AI? Show of hands. Beautiful, because if you're not, you're going to struggle, all right? You've constantly got to be educating yourself, right? You don't have to be the best tradesman to get all the jobs as a carpenter. You need to be the smart one. You need to know what needs to be done. Yeah. And you're going to do that by constant learning, constant training. So that's why between 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock every morning, that is my education piece. I am either reading a book, I am looking at YouTube video, I'm learning something new. Now, you guys that have got our CRM, you know that, wow, there's so much stuff that this can do, and it keeps bringing more in. So I've got to sit there for at least half an hour just keeping up to date with what's changed in the CEO, in the CRM over the last few days. So the first bucket is what do you know? So that's your education. You are responsible for that. Now, anybody that is in the training or the coaching game, they will also know that the best way to learn something is to teach it. Yeah, that's where you realize how much or how little you know. Your second bucket is teaching. All right. So we jump onto Facebook and we see all these people giving us tips on how to do things. They are educating, right? To educate people, you don't have to become a university lecturer. You don't have to work at TAFE. You don't have to be a teacher, all right? But you have to share that. You do webinars. You put posts out. Instead of posts going, I'm here down the beach. How lovely is this? Give them something that's going to help them. Because this is all building to your bucket number 5, which is reputation. So you can write reputation in bucket number 5 now. Yeah. So number 1, what do you know? Number 2, what can you do? And you will work on these every single day. So when I go back to my routine, my 6 o'clock till 7 o'clock is education. I then spend 7 till 7:30 writing down how I'm going to teach that. Is it something I'm going to bring into one of my webinars? Am I going to do this as a social media post? Am I going to put it in my next book? All right. Am I going to do it as a Facebook Live, or am I just going to create a post? Do this. It's half an hour every single day. And this is the biggest thing that's going to build your reputation, because people know you know what you're talking about and you can deliver it. Okay. Then we move on to number 3. And it's only when you're constantly working on bucket 1 and bucket 2 do we even need to consider bucket 3. Bucket 3 is your network. Who do you know? You can know 1,000,000 people, but if you know shit and you can't teach it, what's the point in knowing anybody? It's never going to work for you guys. All right. Eben, I do apologize. You've never been in a room with me before when I'm educating. When I get passionate, I tend to drop the F-bomb. So everybody else knows that. All right. I love this stuff. I live for this shit. All right. So your network, you need to expand your network. We all know that. That is why we are here today, to expand our network. But while we are expanding our network, other people are helping us with our education. Other people are teaching us, and we can be teaching those other people. So I'll say it again. Bucket 1, what do you know? Bucket 2, what can you do? Bucket 3, who do you know? Bucket 4 is your resources. Now, when I talk about resources, I'm not talking about $1,000,000 in the bank. I'm not talking about driving a BMW, all right? I'm talking about everything that is out there that is possible for you to use to take what you've learned in bucket 1, to teach what you're doing in bucket 2, to expand it out to your network in bucket 3. Yeah. Facebook is one of your resources, Facebook Live. It could be the team that you have around it, right? The biggest resource that Be Connected World has, I'll tell you now, it's not the directory. It's not the CRM, even though they are big resources for us. It's our team. It's Mark Grant flying the flag for us in Queensland and the guys that he has in place to deliver education. It's Alan doing this every Tuesday. It's Alison running Lake Macquarie. The people that are there, they are our top resource, okay? And none of them get paid. What a great resource, all right? None of them's on a wage. Alan, somebody's just come in, can you kick them out? It's way too late.
Repeat that, please.
Somebody's just entered the waiting room. Can you remove them? It's way too late to come in there.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, so where were we? All right, your resources. So look at what you've got. Social media-wise, to get your voice out there, we've got Instagram, we've got TikTok, we've got Facebook, we've got Google My Business, we've got all those sorts of things, right? We can do email marketing campaigns. Who here has a list of potential prospects and customers in emails? Put your hand up if you've got, you should all have them. All right, that's a resource. Everything that can help you achieve what you want to achieve is a resource. A lot of people get confused with the fact that I don't have $1,000,000 in the bank, I've got no resources. All right. We started this company nearly 4 years ago with literally no money. I was just paying for the Zoom room, and we built and we built and we built, and we relied on the people to help us build. Now we're at the point we've got over 400 members, all these people using the CRM. Boom, it's using the correct resources in the right order. You get your bucket one, right? You get your bucket two, right? You got the right network around you, and your network needs to be constantly expanding. Anybody that's been in career sales will understand this, that you will always have an attrition. You've got natural attrition is always going to happen, right? If you are dealing with people in a specific region, 15% of those people will move out of that region in the next 12 months. They need to be replaced. So does your network, all right? So you've got your network, you then move on to what resources do you, this is a resource, come here, meet people, all right? Once you've got those buckets filled, and you know what you're talking about, and you're telling people this is what you need to do, and you've got a good network, and you've got a good resource to get it out there, then your reputation comes in. This is the only bucket you cannot fill. You can go around and tell people, fig jam. Does anyone remember that? Fig jam? All right. You can tell people that, but you got to prove it. And how do you prove it? You prove it by filling bucket one, bucket two, bucket three, bucket four. Once your fifth bucket is full, you'll be on a nice, easy plane where you will start getting referrals coming in. Yeah. You have to have that good reputation. You have to manage that reputation. You manage that reputation by showing people you know what you talk about. All right. You need to manage that reputation by giving people free information. When we started as Network Educate Invite, we used to have people come in and they would share knowledge. It was, you remember those old days there, Alan, the old NEI days, right? We'd have an accountant come in, or we'd have a lawyer come in. And what they would do, Mark, you were even there in the NEI days, mate. What these guys would do is they would give you all this information for free. None of this stuff like you get on Facebook where we'll give you this little snippet of information for free, but you got to pay for the rest. They give you all the information. Why? Because you're going to go back to them for the resources because they know what they're doing. Okay? So you want to be successful. First thing you have to do is work on self. And to work on self, make sure you're educated, share the knowledge, share it to the right people, use the right products and resources to get it out there, and your reputation will take care of itself. I can calm down now. I'm going to pause it. Here we go.